15 years old, there was this nightclub in Berkeley called the International Cafe, and me and my friends used to go there because they didn't ever check our IDs at the door, and they never checked our IDs when we ordered pitchers of beer. So that was one of our favorite places to go. So one time we were there, and there was this band who just went on stage, and they were called Easy Street. And I remember looking up on the stage, and I seen this guitar player with frizzy hair and glasses and a flying V. His name was Jim Burton. And another another bass player with long reddish-brown hair, bell-bottoms, and a flannel shirt, and a big-ass Rickenbacker guitar, or bass. And it was Cliff. And I looked at these two guys, and they started playing some Lynyrd Skynyrd song, and I thought, who are these freaks? And then they played an original song, and that's when I saw the full-on Cliff Burton headbang for the first time. And this was before the term headbang was even around. And it was just like the whole full-on. 3 songs into the set, his amp blew up, which was pretty hilarious. We were all laughing. Because we were in a band then, and we were like, you know, competitive with everyone, so you think that Cliff would just leave the stage, but he didn't. He sat down in front of his amp while the band continued to play, and he sat there and headbanged in front of his amp. It was amazing. I could not believe it.
As if his headbanging would force the amp to start working again.
Well, you know, the crazy thing is, he was sitting down and headbanging. Like, that's hard to do. So, fast forward a couple years, me and my friend Paul Bailoff, rest in peace, he called me up.
Another good headbanger.
Yeah. He called me up and said, hey, there's this band called Trauma. We have to go see them. I'm like, sure. So, we go see Trauma, look on stage, and there's that guy, headbanging crazily again. And I thought to myself, oh my God, that guy got so much better in 2 or 3 years. By then he had his like wah pedal thing, and it wasn't just a headbang. By that time it was like full body bang. Forward, backward. Okay, fast forward 6 months. Paul Bailoff calls me again, and he said, you'll never hear what happened. And I said, what, Paul? And he said, that banging bass player from Trauma, he's in Metallica now. Wow. Amazing. So, fast forward a few months later, and we're roommates in a hotel, and we're on tour, and we go into Europe, and this is crazy. So that's my first encounter with people. From the moment I saw that guy, he just made such an impression on me, and I kind of saw his progression, a swift progression over like 2 or 3 years, and I'm just really happy that I had the opportunity to actually get to know him and play music with him, and yeah, he's the man.
When they first came to New York, we started hanging out. I think I was there the day they arrived. They kind of piled out of a U-Haul truck. Well, actually, Kirk wasn't even there yet. So I had actually met Cliff before I met Kirk.
That was BK.
BK. Kirk shows up a couple of weeks later. AD. Get it? He set me up. What am I supposed to do? Not go with it? Anyway, and we became fast friends, and Kirk and Cliff and I, kind of like, if I was with the Metallica guys, we were kind of like the Three Musketeers, and we had many adventures, and one of which was in early 1984. I think you guys were in London because you were supposed to do a tour of the UK. It was supposed to be Metallica, The Rods, and Exciter.
And Twisted Sister.
And Twisted Sister. a tour of the UK, and this was like early '84, and the tour got canceled for, I don't know even why it got canceled.
We didn't sell enough tickets. That's the truth. I think the record company said the guy in the rods broke his arm or something, but we really didn't sell enough tickets.
So I was in London doing promo for the first Anthrax record, Fistful of Metal, and Music for Nations, which was our label at the time, put us all together in an apartment for a while, which was a really good idea.
Yes.
And just, I'll keep this really short. One day, Cliff's like, hey, I need a new Walkman, if anyone even remembers what that is. So it's a Sunday, and we go to get the tube to Tottenham Court Road to go buy a Walkman, and we get stopped in the tube station by some police who look at these two long-haired dudes. I had hair then, and they literally walk up to us and say, you can make it easier on yourself now if you just admit to the drugs you're carrying. And it'll be much easier for you. We're like, what are you talking about? They're like, just tell us what you have on you, and it'll go easier at the end of the day. We're like, we're not carrying anything. Meanwhile, I'm thinking Cliff's pockets are filled with weed.
Like always.
So we don't have anything. So they take us into this station. In the train station, there's a cop, like a cop station. They take all our clothes. I'm now sitting by myself in a cell with no window in my underwear. It's 1984. I'm like 20 years old, and all I could think of was that movie Midnight Express. It's like, that's it. I will never see my family again. I'm gonna be in jail and have to bite someone's tongue out of their head. But so I'm sitting there 3 hours, like literally, and then I can hear Cliff talking, and I start banging on the door, and they open the little window, and I see Cliff like this. Like the cops are pulling him away. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And we're taking him back to the flat. We're going to search the flat. And I'm like, oh, we're fucked now because there's definitely weed back in the apartment. So I'm now sitting in my cell shitting my pants. Cliff and a whole bunch of English cops go back to the apartment.
I was just sitting there on the couch playing guitar when all of a sudden the door opened up. Cliff walked in and looked at me. And there was a cop behind them, and then they walked into the bedroom and walked out, and they walked out of the apartment again. I was just kind of going, what just happened?
So I'm now sitting there another 2 hours. They open the door, they throw me my clothes, I get dressed, they bring me to the captain's office, and Cliff's just sitting there with this smirk on his face. And this guy starts apologizing to us. I'm very sorry for wasting your time and all that, and I'm just this kid from New York who now has lost his mind. And I'm like, you fucking motherfucker, like, how dare you just because we have long hair, blah, blah, blah. And Cliff's like punching me in the leg, shut the fuck up. So we finally leave, and I look at him like, what happened? Like, how did they not, like, and he goes, where's the first place you would look if you were searching someone's house for drugs? Where's the first place you look? I'm like, under the mattress. He's like, exactly! They never looked under the mattress. True story. So, the fucking metal gods were fucking looking down on us that day. Because right now, we could be sitting in an English prison still to this day. Anyway, that's one of the many stories that I have in my head about the man. I'm glad we got to share it.